Hey everyone, welcome back, or welcome if you're new here, which you probably are because I'm also pretty new here. Today I thought I'd take a minute and talk about some of my favorite underrated books by really popular authors. So what I mean by that is usually when you think of a popular author, you think of one or two books that are associated with that author that most people either recommend or that you think of when you hear the author's name. So I thought I'd talk about some of my favorites by those popular authors that aren't necessarily the first one or two books that you think of when you think of them. So without further ado, we'll get started. I have them back here in no particular order except for least thick to most thick. But these books are not very thick. I thought I'd make them short so that they wouldn't be intimidating or anything. So I'll start out with Sula by Toni Morrison, probably one of the most popular authors of all time. But this book is actually her sixth most popular book, I learned when I looked it up. So Toni Morrison is most known for books like Beloved, The Bluest Eye, Song of Solomon. And those books are probably equally as amazing, but this is just, I think, kind of one of her hidden gems. It's about two girls who are inseparable childhood friends, growing up in this small town, and slowly over time you see in the story, you see them become enemies. There's betrayal, there's loss, there's love, there's a lot going on, but what I love about this book is it's simple, it's easy to follow, and it just focuses on these two amazing characters. Sula, who I think is maybe one of my favorite characters of all time, and Nell, and it's just a story about female friendship and the challenges that come along with that. And it's an amazing story, and it's not very long, so it's definitely an easy Morrison book to pick up. Next, we'll move on to Franny and Zoe, and this is actually one of two novels by J.D. Salinger, and this book is pretty popular now, but I think still most people, when they hear the name J.D. Salinger, they think of The Catcher in the Rye, which is a great book, but I think one of the challenges of The Catcher in the Rye is it centers on a single male character, Holden, who is an amazing character, but what I like about Franny and Zoe is it has a male and female character and centers around entire family, basically, which this family is very unusual. They live in New York. Franny's going through sort of a mental breakdown and moves home, and her brother Zoe is there, and it starts with a section by Franny and then moves on to the section of Zoe. And a lot of people have their preferences of which section they like better and everything. But it's just a fun, very short novel about brother and sister love, loss, family, and there's a lot of humor in it. I remember I read this for my family book club, and my mom was reading it and just cackling out loud while she was reading some of the sections. So it's funny, so it has the same humor that The Catcher in the Rye has throughout, possibly more humor, and the characters are very entertaining and unique. So I would definitely recommend this book, especially if you do like Catcher in the Rye, because it's written in the same way, but has a lot more going on. Next up, we have Everything I Never Told You by Celeste New, and this author is most famous for Little Fires Everywhere, particularly because Little Fires Everywhere has a TV show surrounding it, which is really good. Shout out Reese Witherspoon. But this is actually my favorite book by this author, Everything I Never Told You. And it starts off where you find that the child of an Asian man and a white woman has died. You learn in the first page, so it's not really a spoiler. Has died in a pond or lake in the neighborhood, and it just has the family grappling with that loss and also trying to figure out how she passed away. So it's a great story. It's set a little bit in the past, and it shows that what the struggles the mom of the daughter had sort of trying to study science and become a doctor, and then the struggles the father of the daughter had as an Asian man. So I think it kind of combines those struggles, and as well as the other siblings dealing with the loss that occurs on the first page. But yeah, if you liked Little Fires Everywhere, I definitely recommend this one. If you haven't read any of this author, I would still recommend this. It's a great book, and definitely my favorite. And then next up, and next most thick, we have Eileen by Otessa Moshfegh. I love this book. It's my favorite Otessa Moshfegh book so far, and this author is definitely most known for My Year of Rest and Relaxation, and also her most recent book, Lap Nova. And I really liked A Year of Rest and Relaxation. I liked the concept, but it was one of those books where I liked the concept a lot more than the execution. For those of you that don't know, My Year of Rest and Relaxation is essentially a story about a girl that decides she just wants to basically sleep for an entire year, and honestly that's pretty fun. But Eileen is more of a thriller, and it's about a girl that works in a prison and sort of becomes obsessed with one of her coworkers, and while she's caring for her dad, who has all sorts of issues, and it just kind of keeps you on the edge of your toes. It has the perfect ending and climax, and it really builds up to the events that happen at the end of the book, and it's a perfect winter read. I know it's summer right now, but this is probably one of the greatest holiday thrillers out there. And yeah, I love this book. Also, not very long like the other ones, so definitely recommend this. I haven't checked out the movie yet. It says it's now a major motion picture, and it has Eileen Hathaway in it, so I do plan to watch that soon. Yeah, and I also plan to do my official ranking of every Otessa Moshfegh book, but I have to finish 2 more first, so hoping to do that soon. And then, last but not least, we have Sally Rooney, Beautiful World, Where Are You? I really like this book. Sally Rooney, if you know this name, you definitely think of Normal People first. I don't know, maybe you don't, but it's definitely her most popular book. But also pretty much every book she writes is an instant bestseller. I haven't read very many of them. I've only read Normal People, and I've read this one. And I liked this one a lot better than Normal People, and I largely think it's just due to age, because I think Normal People focuses a lot on high school and university age, whereas this one really focuses on people after university in their 20s, which is my age, and sort of that feeling of being a little bit lost, trying to figure out what life is after that, what the relationships you have mean in your 20s, if you stay in them or if they end. And yeah, it's basically about just a group of friends that are grappling with being in their mid-20s in this day and age. And I believe it's very reflective of this author's life as well, because the main character is an author. And yeah, I just liked it. I related to it a lot. It was a pleasant read. Not too much happens, so definitely don't expect too many twists and turns. But it's a pleasant read, particularly if you are similar ages of the people in this book. And if you do feel like you didn't relate as much to the characters in Normal People, this one might be a little bit more for you. So yeah, those are all the books that I would recommend by popular authors that are underrated for sure. Here they are again, and yeah, if you liked, please subscribe and like. Other than that, I'll see you soon.